So I love shopping as much as the next person, maybe even a little bit more. But when it comes to my shopping habits, I've been spending the last couple of years dabbling with things that suit me, dabbling with different ways of shopping, how to budget, how to stick to a wish list, how to shop more considered and from a more mindful place in order to not go broke for fashion. I've been there, I've been either when I was a student or I first came out of college and I had a job, I was working in fashion retail, but all my money was going towards buying new clothes. And at the end of every month, and maybe even before the end of every month, I was broke. I sometimes had to walk to work because I couldn't afford the bus, because I couldn't even afford like €2. So I've been there, and if you're there, then I 100% resonate with you. And I resonate with that feeling because it really feels really shit. And it's almost like it's just that cycle you get yourself into. If you're the kind of person who shops from an emotional place, then feeling broke makes you want to shop more to feel better. But that shopping more to feel better is what's keeping you broke. So it is that vicious cycle. And how do we break it? In today's video, I want to share a few tips of mine that I've been kind of implementing over the last few years in order to shop a little bit less, a little bit more considerably, and overall just spending within my means. So I guess that leads me on to my first tip, which is to not spend beyond your means. Make sure what you're spending is what you can afford. If you can't afford to spend something every single month on clothing, then don't. And if you can't afford to spend, 100, 200 quid a month, then don't. If your budget is £20 a month, €20 a month, $20, whatever it is, if that's all you can afford, great. That's still a really good budget to work with, and you can still add 1 or 2 items into your wardrobe every month if you kind of shop smart and find nice little bargains. But shopping beyond your means is one of the worst things you can do because it keeps you in that cycle of spending loads of money, feeling like shit because you've no money, wanting to shop to make yourself feel better, spending too much, more than you can afford, ending up broke, feeling like shit, and the cycle just continues. So stick within your means and it will really transform how you shop and how you feel about shopping. Once you're sticking within your means, it kind of gets rid of that guilt a little bit as well. Tip number 2 is to set a budget, which leads on from my last point. But once you know how much you can afford or what you would like to spend every month or I think monthly is kind of a good way to do a budget. I used to shop weekly and I've tried to stop doing that as well, or I've definitely stopped doing that, but I used to shop at the end of every single week. Any money I had left when I was in college, any money that my mum gave me, I would just spend whatever 5, 10, 15 euros was left from every week on clothes before I got my bus home. And it was just such a toxic habit because I ended up with loads of clothes I didn't really love. I had no money, no savings, and I could have saved just that little bit of money every week just to, treat myself to some, go to the cinema or buy some slightly nicer food when I was a student. Once you know how much you can afford, set yourself a budget, even if that is just 10, 15, 20 quid to start with. You can always work your way up as you start to earn more money or as you start to be a bit more comfortable financially. Maybe when you stop spending all your money on clothes, you'll start to build a little bit of savings, and you'll start to find when you get smart with money and you learn how to manage it, more money comes into your life. So maybe you get a pay rise, or maybe you realize you've been paying too much tax and you get some tax back, whatever that is. It all kind of comes from this place of having a better relationship with money. So even if you only have 20 quid to manage on clothing, showing the universe that you can manage that little bit of money, they will give you more. Tip number 3 is to resell items that you're not currently loving or wearing in your closet. If you are the kind of person who shops a lot and spends all your money, chances are you have a lot of clothing in your wardrobe. And if it came from a place of emotional spending, it may not have been the most thought through purchase either. So have a dig around your wardrobe, find things, colors that don't suit you, fabrics that don't feel nice on your skin, things that no longer fit you. Maybe you bought them years ago, or maybe they never fitted you, but you bought them because they're on sale. I know that's happened a few times. It happened to me. And just kind of figure out what you could maybe sell on. Even if they're not anything that you can get loads and loads of money for, the more you sell, the more you'll have. So places like Vinted, Depop, I think eBay is a good one that I've never really used, but I've heard it's good. If you have things that are more kind of high-end designer, you can go on Vestiaire Collective, places like that. It's great to resell because if you really do want to shop and add new things into your wardrobe and that's something you love doing, you can use that money to fund putting things back into your wardrobe. So sell the things you don't love to buy the things that you will love. I'll be doing a video very soon about how to buy and sell on platforms like that, especially Vinted, because that's my favorite. So if you're not subscribed already and you want to see that video, then be sure to subscribe today. My next tip is to keep a wish list of items you'd like to add into your wardrobe. Whether this is just things that you really, really love and have seen on someone and you just want it, and it's a color you love or a style you love or a brand you love, or whether this is a gap that you've identified in your wardrobe, that if you just had this piece, then all the other pieces in your wardrobe would kind of come together and just form many more outfits. So keep a track of a wish list, whether that's a list on your phone, a Pinterest board. You can save things on, you can save bookmarks, or you can save the images of the things you like. But just make sure that you're checking this regularly, you're assessing whether it's something you still really want. And also with creating a wish list, it gives you that delayed gratification a little bit, because you're adding it to a wish list. And then when it comes to buying it, you're going back and you're like, do I still really want this piece? And if it's been on your wish list for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, then the likelihood is it's something that you've really considered as well. You can also use your wish list to kind of allocate your budget. So if you have something on your wish list that's a little bit more than your monthly budget, you know that you need to wait 3 months or 4 months or 5 months or however long to buy this item without buying anything else. But trust me, when you buy those items that you really, really love, even if they are more expensive than your monthly budget, it's so worth it. And you'll find that it just kind of takes your wardrobe to the next level. It blends with all the other pieces that you love to wear really seamlessly, and it's just more considered, and you'll feel really great when you wear it as well. Buying higher quality items means that you will have to replace them less, which means ultimately you'll be shopping less often. Now, buying higher quality doesn't always mean spending more money, but sometimes it does. It means either because it's a better fabric content, it's just a better cut and a better fit, and more kind of thought has gone into how it's going to fall on the body. So it's more flattering. Maybe it's the brand name that you're kind of, they're slightly higher quality, so you're kind of buying a brand name as well. It's not always the case that brand names are better quality. There are definitely a lot of expensive brand names out there that are just as, kind of mediocre quality as things you might find for a lot less on the high street. But do your research, and I feel like the best thing to do is either shop from kind of brands that you recognize and that kind of have a good reputation for being high quality and for lasting and standing the test of time, or go into store and really feel the items, try them on, see how they fit, see how they fall on the body. Do they flatter your figure the way you want them to? Because that, I feel like, how they flatter you and how they fit your shape really does blend into the quality aspect, because it's kind of, is it high quality for you? It could be, it could fit someone else really well, but if it doesn't fit you, then it's not going to be the high quality item in your wardrobe, because it just won't feel like that when you wear it. And source secondhand where you can, if you do need to save that little bit of money. So if you are trying to find those higher quality pieces, look for ways in which you can buy them at a fraction of the original cost. Like I mentioned, Depop, Vinted, eBay, Vestia Collective, anywhere where you will sell your items, you can also buy them as well. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, £20 can go a long way if you shop on places like Depop or Vinted. Sometimes you can get things for £5, sometimes you can get them for a tenner. It could be a really nice knit, it could be a pair of jeans. One of my favourite pairs of jeans I think I got for about £5 on Vinted, and I love them and I wear them all the time. So when your budget is lower, you can allocate it like this. If you do feel like you need to add a lot into your wardrobe because you don't have a lot of things in there that you currently really, really love, it is handy to kind of just buy those not lower quality, but lower priced, more affordable items secondhand. You can also pop into charity shops as well, because I find sometimes in charity shops, they don't always recognize the quality of an item. I've bought some amazing things in charity shops. Maybe they just didn't really look at like the fabric content or the cut of it or something, or, I found a 100% silk dress for £1. I found 2 cashmere jumpers for £2 each, and I was just like, did they not realize this is 100% silk or 100% cashmere? But maybe they didn't. They just priced them really quickly, and I got amazing bargains. Also, sometimes in charity shops, they'll have a rail of things that have just been sitting there for ages, and they'll reduce it down way more than it would have been originally. So one of my favorite charity shops used to have a £1 rail, and I would buy a lot of things on that when I first moved to London, when I was just trying to update my kind of working wardrobe. And the last point I want to mention is not really a tip, but it's just about, if you are trying to shop more mindfully and more considered, you don't have to buy something every single month. You don't have to spend your budget every single month if you haven't found something that you really love. Try not to shop on a whim too much, and try to really think about, are you going to love this item? Are you going to wear it 30 times? how does it fit into your wardrobe, you know, style it in your head with like 4 or 5 different pieces straight away. You can also use kind of wardrobe management apps like Smart Closet, Open Wardrobe. Open Wardrobe is one of my favorites at the moment. I'm working with them a little bit lately, but I love the app because you can kind of keep a wish list folder. You can also plan your outfits and collage things together. So things you add to your wish list, you can kind of collage them and outfit them with pieces that are already in your wardrobe. And it's just a really great way to manage new purchases or manage what you already own. Also, sometimes styling up new outfits can be just that little bit of injection of creativity that maybe you're lacking, and that's why you feel like you need to buy something new. But actually, if you just kind of played around with your wardrobe a little bit, you'd find a new outfit instead. I hope some of these tips were helpful. Remember, if you are in the place where you are going broke for fashion at the moment, it's not always going to be like that. You just need to make a couple of little adjustments to how you're spending your money and how you're, you know, making purchasing decisions. Because like I said, I've been there. It was a good few years ago now, but definitely starting with a capsule wardrobe has really, really helped me along on that journey. And I think that was what drove me to start a capsule wardrobe in the first place about 6 or 7 years ago. So if you are also on a new capsule wardrobe journey, please do subscribe to my channel. It'll be really useful. I've got tons of videos, if I may say so myself, tons of videos that, you know, how to build a wardrobe, how to build a seasonal capsule, how to make more outfits with less clothing. Like I said, I've been doing this for quite a few years now. So I will leave my capsule wardrobe playlist linked on the screen if you want to check it out. And I will also link my mindful shopping playlist as well, which has loads more tips on how to shop sales, how to shop more mindfully, how to break up with fast fashion, and loads more helpful tips. I'll talk to you really soon in my next video.